Hey, fifth graders. So today we're going to be finding the fraction of a measurement. So that would mean like, what's half a pound, or half a foot, or 3/4 of a foot? So let's take a look. So our first problem, what is 1/4 of a pound? And then look here. It tells us in ounces. So our answer is not going to be in pounds, it's going to be in ounces. So which is a larger unit, pounds or ounces? Pounds are larger. So we're expressing a fraction of a larger unit as the smaller unit. So we want to find 1/4 of 1 pound. So we're looking at 1/4 times 1. Because to find 1/4 of 1, that's another way of saying 1/4 times 1. So we know that 1 pound is the same as how many ounces? 16. So we're going to rethink about it so we can get it in ounces. So 1/4 times 1 is for pounds. So for ounces, we're looking at 1/4 times 16. Or another way of saying that is, what is 1/4 of 16? So how do we know this is true? Because 1 pound equals 16 ounces. 1 pound, 16 ounces. So let's use our fraction multiplication to solve. So we know that 1/4 times 16 is the same as 1/4 times 16 once, or 16 over 1, or just 16. We could say it all. So we would just multiply across. 1 times 16 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4. Uh-oh, that's an improper fraction, so we have to reduce. So I've got fourths down here. How many times does 4 go into 16? How many wholes? How many 4/4 can I pull out of 16? 4 goes into 16 4 times. So 4 ounces is 1/4 of 16. Now we can use a tape diagram. So I put it into fourths because I know I'm dealing with fourths. And I've got 1/4. So that's why I'm shading 1/4, is because I'm trying to find 1/4 of 16. So if my whole tape diagram is 16 ounces, then each of these chunks are worth 4. And so how many ounces is my shaded portion worth? 4 ounces. For our next problem, we're looking at 3/4 of a foot. And then look, we're putting it in inches. So comparing this problem to the first one, we noticed the first one we were going from pounds to ounces. Now we're going from feet to inches. So if we were keeping it in feet, then we just have to do 3/4 times 1. But 1 foot is the same as how many inches? 12. So our problem is 3/4 times 12. So before we solve this, let's stop to think and estimate. So if we're finding part of 1 foot, will our answer be more than 6 inches or less? I know it's going to be more, because I know in my head that 6 inches is half of a foot. Half of a foot is 6 inches. But I'm not finding half, I'm finding 3/4. And 3/4 is bigger than a half. 3/4 of a pie, or 3/4 of a pie, is bigger than half a pie. So I know it's going to be more than 6 inches. So we're going to say more than 6. So our multiplication method, we know the multiplication problem we're trying to solve is 3/4 times 12. Now just to make that easy on ourselves, we think of it as 3/4 times 12 over 1. So go ahead and multiply across. 3 times 12 is 36. 4 times 1 is 4. Well, how many times does 4 go into 36? 4 goes into 36 9 times. So 3/4 of a foot is 9 inches. If we're looking at a tape diagram, we're going to keep it in fourths because that's the unit we're using, because we're all about fourths in this problem. Only this time we're going to shade in 3 of them because we're trying to find what 3/4 of a foot is. So I know that this whole thing, this whole foot is 12 inches. And if the whole thing is 12, then that means each of these guys is worth 3. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 12. But then, okay, if they're each worth 3, how much is my shaded part that I'm trying to find? How much is that worth? Well, 3 plus 3 plus 3, oh, 9 inches. Awesome. I would like you to solve these problems on your own. However, I'm going to give you a hint. Mr. Corsetti spends 2/3 of every year in Florida. How many months does he spend in Florida each year? I'm going to remind you there's 12 months in a year. On this next problem, Sue uses 2/3 a yard of cloth to make a flag. How much is that cloth in feet? There are 3 feet in 1 yard. All right, go ahead and solve. Raise your hand or bring it to me when you're ready to check. Good luck.